Hi there. Thanks for joining us the program this week. For those of you who may not know me, I am Siva Karri, working as a senior associate at Cognizant Softvision, and here I'm working as a business analyst. And I have been here for 8 months, and I'm really excited to talk about moving the cloud and what are the different strategies and what are the benefits of moving into the cloud. And for those of you who have questions, please feel free to write it in chat box so that I can answer them respectively without further anticipation. So let's get started. So our today's agenda is all about like what are the considerations we need to talk while moving into the cloud, and what are the different migration strategies or different phases of cloud migration steps we have for migrating into the from on premises or from other cloud providers to the Google Cloud. And the next is benefits of moving into the cloud. What are the different benefits we have, why we can suggest the organizations or enterprises to move it to the cloud, what are the thing benefits they are looking for. And the next is like what are the different cloud migration strategies we have. So we have a 6 hours concept, and what are the different strategies which is apt for your cloud migration strategy. And next is like comparison of a cloud migration strategy. So among the 6 hours, so which strategy is more cost effective or most flexibility or most in terms of reliable. So which migration strategy is good for your business need. And next, uh, we'll talk about which migration strategy is right for me based on the discussions from the different or various migration strategies. And cloud migration solutions offered by various cloud providers, especially a Google Cloud. So we do have a lot of cloud migration solutions offering by the various cloud providers. And what are the best practices for enterprise organizations? And the case study which I have already implemented for one of the leading MNC banks. So I'm going to talk about the cloud journey of the migration of the leading MNC bank. So without further delay, I'm going to start from the first, what are the considerations we need to take while moving into the cloud. So here, the first point, first and foremost point is all about like business justification. So what exactly the business problem I'm going to solve? So at this business justification, I just want to know what problem I'm going to solve. Or so am I looking for a greater business agility, or am I looking for a better or a greater cost savings, or am I looking for a consolidated data centers? So by from the business justification, like example, am I looking for a future enhancements with cloud native services and all, that we need to be aware, or we need to be specify clearly about a business justification. And second is about the strategy. So in the strategy part, what I'm looking for exactly here, so is that like as a business, am I looking for a long term relationship with for the I'm looking with the cloud providers, or in terms of putting out the tactical use cases, like which cloud strategy is going to suits to my business problem. And third one is about the management of those applications once if you move into the cloud. So what is the different I think like I can say in this way. So the in the market there are different various cloud providers offering various solutions nowadays, like they are coming and enhancing and then weekly, hourly, even daily also they're enhancing their cloud services. And so which service is going to give you a better management in future. So next, so so first step is like consider what we need to talk, what we need to take while considering going to the cloud. And second one is what are the different phases or steps involving in terms of moving data or applications or databases from on premises to the cloud platform. So the phase one which I am going to talk about is about the assessment. So in this phase, the first phase of this migration part. So this phase is a very crucial for the any type of a migration which we are going to start. So uh, you know in this phase, especially like maybe the different experts from the various cloud providers. So we it's better to take an expert advice in terms of from the cloud provider. So which migration strategy is going to be apt for the my business need, or like in terms of like grouping the as we need to assess what kind of applications we need to migrate. So we need to group, or am I looking for migration of the databases, or am I looking for virtual machines migration, or am I looking for only a specific set of applications. So you need to assess what data and applications you need to move. So you need to map them accordingly, and then you need to select the a different cloud strategy among that. So we do have, I told you, we have a couple of cloud migration strategies. So among that, which a strategy is suits to your business requirement. So you need to pick among that. So that strategies I'm going to cover in next slides. And once if you assess that the business migration strategy, so the next is like pilot. So the Google Cloud, here I'm specifically I'm talking about the Google Cloud parallel. So the second phase of the once if you assess your applications, so the second phase is about the pilot project. So it's nothing but a POC. I can say again, everybody knows about that, the what exactly the POC, proof of concept, we will do. So Google or any in terms of any service provider or any cloud service provider will talks about given suggestion to you start migrating with one or two applications, that in terms of trial and error method. So how the migration is happening, the setup of environment in the cloud, and migrating one application from source to the cloud, the target cloud provider. So you need to be in a position to do the POC, or like uh, for migration of the application. So like example, so we do have I'll just give an example here in terms of piloting a project, a POC. So in an organization we do have a lot of patterns, design patterns, or like data patterns, or various applications which are having or having to belongs to a different group. So there may be in terms of different patterns they have. So in terms of moving it to the cloud, so you need to be aware of that, what are the different patterns you have. So in order to arrive that you need to have a clear picture on the total applications you need to migrate. So once if you have, so you can pick a few distinct patterns, distinct patterns which contains application. So you can have an idea, and then you can do a POC on that, so that it is easy for the next step to move your data. The next phase is move the data. So once if you did the POC or piloting, so here the Google Cloud takes the unique approach before migrating all the applications to cloud. So in this phase, so what once if you do the pivoting and all, one pivot or POC, so all the data which are in your on premises or from the other cloud service providers, so the data which we can migrate, the Google Cloud is providing, and at the third step they can migrate or move the data from the on premises or from the other cloud providers to the Google Cloud, or maybe other cloud service provider as well here. So what exactly again here there are lot of offerings are from the cloud providers. I'm just quoting an example here in terms of Google Cloud. So the Google Cloud, in terms of moving the data, so Google Cloud Storage is also one of the services offering by the cloud, Google Cloud, and Nearline, and Google Cloud SQL, data store, and Bigtable. So these are the different cloud services which is offering by the Google Cloud. So according to our business need or our business requirement, so which uh, which service we are going to opt is according to our business. I'll just quote example here, like in a Google Cloud Storage, which is a more reliable, and you can fast, uh, and you can utilize this service, you can run at fast time and agility. So whereas and Nearline, if you want to run your data maybe on monthly ones, and monthly ones, so you don't need more agility. In that case, like you can store all your data to Nearline instead of Google Cloud Storage. It's not required you to store your data in cloud in Google Cloud Storage, which I can say that the data is available at their near time, and which is a cost as well and compares to nearline. So the next is all about the move application. So once if you move your data, so it's by this point, you're ready to begin moving your applications to the cloud. Like examples, major mistakes or disruptions right to be bad, like Google Cloud recommendations, making a simple moves first, like uh, again here. So what are the simple applications we have? Earlier I told, like, we do have a couple of segmentation. We have the applications, different segmentation of applications and databases. So you need to choose wisely which applications you need to move first. So like the simple applications you can migrate at the initial phase, I can say. And the next phase, what are the critical applications, uh, you know or more changes is required in terms of code reconfiguration and all. So you need to choose wisely which applications needs to be migrated the first phase and the second phase, and so on. The next phase is like optimization. So once if you move your applications from on premises or from other service cloud service providers to the target cloud, so it's the time now for for to optimize the services, or I can say, see, once if you move the data or all applications to the cloud, what are maybe the strategy, that strategy I'm going to talk about later. So if you want to get the cloud native services for the applications which you have migrated, so this, and at this phase, so once if you migrate, so it's an opportunity for the business to optimize or enhance the applications. So like example, I can use a stack driver, Google Cloud PubSub, or Google Cloud's deployment manager, or even Google Cloud Anthos, which they can modernize the applications, or they can optimize at the later point of time once if they migrate. So these are the different 5 phases which we can plan the migration of the data or applications or the databases. Next, I'm going to talk about what are the benefits of moving into the cloud. So here there are a lot of, apart from the what I have kept here in the slide, so there are a lot of other benefits for of moving into the cloud or migrating to the cloud. So here we have improving efficiency and dynamic options for customized needs. So what exactly this dynamic options for customized needs is? Like example, so now according to the market, so the needs of a business is changing, or keep on changing, or keep on evolving. So in this case, so the dynamic options, or like the cloud options are vast in here. Like the cloud options or cloud solutions are vast here in this case. So they can use a multi-cloud utility. He can customize based on his needs. He can use on-prem, or he can use cloud, and he can use multiple clouds. So basis his requirements, so he is having a liberty, he can leverage the solutions which are providing by the various Google Cloud providers, and seamless scaling. So they can scale the application in infinity level, so they can utilize the services, the availability of the VMs and all at the they can scale up or scale down based on the needs. So they can choose an option from the services offering by the various cloud providers. And security, so for for providing a higher security in terms of cloud service providers are providing a better security, I can say, in terms of, rather compared to the on premises, by following higher level standards, higher level global standards in terms of providing a security and multi-level authentication. IAM, especially the feature which are providing with the Google Cloud, is about IAM, identity and access management. So the security is at the high level, when it comes to the Google Cloud. So, and next one is agility and optimized cost. So optimization in terms of cost, you know, by maintaining a service, or virtual VMware and all, like the optimization cost for utilization basis and all, or per minute utilization basis. And we can increase the productivity by using the moving it to the cloud. And you can perform the faster analytics in terms of moving it to the cloud, like as in the on premises. So it's very time taking or time the time to run a particular query in on premises is more sorry, is more when compared to the cloud. So all the cloud providers, I can say, they're providing a more and more, like in terms of scaling, the feature scaling. So the first analytics, it's performing. So the next is all about, like what are the different strategies. There's a cloud migration strategies. So, and what are the six sorts of the cloud migration? So both are the same, like these are the different various strategies which is offering by the various cloud providers. This especially I have taken it from the Amazon point of view, but yes, again, all the cloud providers are offering the similar kind of services. So the first, I'm going to talk about a rehosting. So what exactly the rehosting is? A rehosting, the strategy, cloud migration rehosting is all about, like lift and shift, I can say. See, there is what are the infrastructure, IT infrastructure, which is at on premises. So the same as is IT infrastructure is go lift and shift it to the cloud, public cloud. So there is no I can say here there is a minimal changes in terms of code reconfiguration, but not at the business logic level. So business logic level, so the only the data which is, or the IT infrastructure, I can say, the VMs or the databases, or the same as is environment which are at the on premises or from the other providers, the same is going to be moving it to the cloud. So I can say this is all the workloads which are in the on-premises is going and lift and shift it to the cloud. The second one is replatform, which is like which is also called as a like lift and optimize. So the same, it's more or similar, like rehost platform, but the thing is, like I'll just give an example here. See, in the on premises, so we have an updated operating system or databases, so that that are no longer is supporting at the Google Cloud. And so what we will do is, like you can take an advantage of this cloud migration and update our operating systems, our databases at the cloud level, and we can get the cloud native services by doing a minimal changes. So we'll do this lift and shift, lift and optimize. So both here, the concept, we'll just talk about the infrastructure as a service. Um, so this is all about, like replatforming. So the next one is about refactoring. So move and improve, we will call it as a move and improve. So here in this refactoring, we will do basically, like application modernization. So we will do the application level code changes, application level changes in according to the cloud provider. So in order to get the cloud native services. Okay, and it may be that you want to move away from server-based applications to leverage cloud provider services, serverless, functionality. So basically, like here in the first and two migration strategies, so you can rehost and replatform. So in the replatform, this is a more commonly used industry migration strategy. So many of the cloud organizations are opt for this three platform strategy. And a refactor, like if they want to do the complete changes or modernization, like according to they don't want to do only lift and shift, they want to do the migration strategies, then they can opt for refactoring. So in this, like it's a, like they can get the fully managed, like I can say, cloud native. They can utilize the benefit of the fully cloud native services. uh, Again, this refactoring is also, again, I can say, this is a cost effective and more time taking, because you need to understand what are the different applications, what are the different applications which uh, what are the different applications which we need to migrate, the complexity, and also based on that, the business logic and all the effort required, you to modernize the applications will be a time consuming and complex as well. And the next strategy is all about a repurchase. So in the repurchase strategy, so what exactly? So what are the applications which we have, on premises, so that may are going to be expire soon, or the the contract, service contract is going to expire soon, our license is going to expire soon. So instead of getting that the same similar set of applications also are providing at the um, cloud provider side. So that, like example, software as a service. So instead of doing migration from the or getting a licensed again, a revised license, and then moving it to the cloud, so instead of doing that, so they can repurchase the similar kind of software or applications from the cloud which is available. Okay. The next is all about like retire strategy. So retire strategy is all about like now, if I can say examples, there are 10 applications we have to migrate. So among those 10 applications which I want to migrate, so among those 10 which are not required, or if I move it to this if I migrate it to the cloud, it will not give any add in terms of cost, for me, instead of doing migration. So I can retire the applications which are not used, or which are not delivering any business benefit for me. So I can retire the applications, and the rest I can migrate. But this is also like, and I can say, as a part of strategy, you can include this, the combination of this replatform and retire. So you can retire the applications which not giving, or not giving any added value to migrate, by doing the migration. So we can retire, and we can do the rest applications using maybe a replatform or other refactor or rehost technique, a strategy, and you can migrate it. And the last migration strategy is all about like retain. So this is the last phase, last migration strategy which I'm going to talk about is the retain strategy. Example, again, I'm just giving an example here. In an organization, if I want to move the total applications I have selected, or I have finalized, or in scope is for the 10 applications. Among those 10 applications, uh, if I can say the total applications is 10 applications, among the 10 applications, I will not be able to migrate to 2 or 3 applications to the cloud, because so I need to retain those two. There could be an various reasons, by the reasons for retaining those. Because see example, that maybe a few service providers and on premises service providers, they're reluctant to provide a service when you migrate that same application to the cloud. So the service provider of that application may be reluctant to provide their services in the cloud. Or like maybe you might have purchased the license for few applications recently. So it's nowhere like there is no benefit in terms of cost if you migrate it for the recently purchased, purchased license product. So there is no point of benefit in terms of migrating that applications to cloud. So you can retain those applications, and you can migrate it to the cloud. So these are the various different strategies we have while moving it to the cloud. So like as I said, in the different phases of cloud migration, so initial assessment, so we'll do the ssr, or what are the applications we have, what is the business value we are going to get, what is the um, strategy we have to going to adapt. So like example, I told here retire and retain. So what applications I need to retire, and what applications I need to retain, and what different applications I need to move. So based by assessing all these in various strategies, and we need to assess what data, or what applications, or what databases, and what VMs um, we need to migrate. So by having a clear idea of the 6 O's of the cloud migration, so we can have an better decision in terms of taking which strategy is apt to our business need. Next, I'm going to talk about what the comparison of this cloud migration strategy in terms of benefit, in terms of effort, in terms of time, in terms of cost. The comparison I'm going to talk about in the next slide. So here you should see the comparison of the cloud migration strategies. If I put it here in terms of time and cost and the opportunity to optimize in future and the complexity. So if you see here the retirement, so if I'm retiring all the applications, no, there is no time and cost. So basically the retire is talking about I'm not doing any migration. So when it comes to retain again, that's an out of the scope for the cloud migration, because the services or the application maintenance and services all are maintaining at the on premises side, which are there is nowhere related to the cloud migration, and there is no enhancement as well. And when it comes to the rehost strategy, so rehosting again, I told rehosting uh, uh, again, this is a lift and shift. So the time and cost wise, it's time and cost is will take a little than the retain strategy, and it's very less opportunity to optimize in future to in order to get the cloud native services. And and repurchase when compared to the rehost strategies, that's a lift and shift. So repurchase will again also very less opportunity to optimize from our end, and the cost and benefit is almost the cost and time is also the same. Replatform, yes, replatform, again with like modernization of sorry, replatform. Replatform is like lift and shift with few changes according to our in terms of soft OS or databases. So it's also there is a compared to refactor re-architecture. So having a less opportunity to modernize our applications to in terms of to get the leverage of the cloud native services, and refactor or re-architecture. So is having a more complex in terms of, and it's more time taking and cost effective as well. So that is the reason it's a better based on our business needs. So we need to choose the right migration strategy in order to cater our business needs. The next I'm going to talk about which migration strategy is right for me. So we have already seen the various different strategies we have, what are the different steps we need to follow in terms of migrating it to the cloud. So here, which migration strategy is right for me? Is it a replatform is right for me, or rehosting is right for me, or which strategy is right for me? So here, choosing the right migration strategy depends on your business drivers for cloud adoption, as well as time considerations and business and financial constraints and resource requirements, as well as like in terms of the law of land, in terms of putting your data requirements. So which zone you want to store your data. So like PI data, personally identifiable information. So which post PI data which you are going to put it in which region. So whether you are supposed to put it into the local region which you are in the law of the land which you are doing the migration. So or whether the law of the country is allowing you to put your data into a data or applications into some other or zones or regions, I can say. So depends on the right business need. So we need to choose which strategy is right for me. And like example here, replatform, if you're migrating the cost of, like you can choose the replatform strategy if you're migrating for cost avoidance, or to eliminate the hardware refresh. And also replatform is a better option for you. And if it is a rehost option, like I'll say here, like maybe instead of selecting a refactor which is a cost effective, you can choose a rehost, and the initial time, and later point of time you can do the, or you can do the refactoring of that application as well. um, and let me give an example, like here. See the examples, I'm just giving an example overview example here. Like if I want to migrate from Oracle database from the on premises to uh, you know uh, Aurora Post GRSQL, which is in the Amazon cloud. So if I want to migrate that, the best migration approach may be like, we need to migrate the application first in the first phase, and then later we can think about the database changes. So likewise, so we need to think about what are the different strategy is opt good for, or I can say apt for my business need. So this is the way, or these are the different strategies we can migrate it to the which will help for migration strategy. And this will slide will talk about what are the different cloud solutions offering by the Google Cloud. The same way, the similar kind of services is also offering by various other cloud providers, but they do have a different in terms of cost, scalability. They do have a little differences, but yes, it's again the enterprise or a business need, or uh, maybe the trust of the or the offerings, or in terms of benefits, or the services in terms of providing from the various cloud providers. It's up to the discretion of the businesses to choose which cloud is apt for their business need. So here I'm talking about the first one is application migration. So this is the first and foremost services of solution offering by the Google Cloud for the application migration. So they can leverage the cloud services proven infrastructure for all the applications and workloads to increase, like in terms of providing performance, scalability, and security. So the application migration, they are these are the one of the solution is offering for application migration. And another one is about database migration. So they can have the moving to the different databases to the cloud can help to run and manage your applications at global scale, in terms of both flexibility and efficiency. So this is also one of the solution which is offering for the database migration. And as well as, like the next solution is offering from the data warehouse point of view. So the data warehouse modernization. So like example, in on premises, if you want to perform in different analytics, so it may be a cost effective, as well as it will take some time consumption for get the there may be a missing of agility in terms of generating reports accurately or fastly. So whereas in terms of the service which is offering from the cloud providers, that is in terms of data warehouse modernization, they can run the even petadata of data in seconds and minutes. So the faster analytics they can perform when it compares to the on premises to the cloud. So they can perform faster analytics, and they can scale by doing the by doing the scaling. So this is the scaling here is the scalability is the better feature which is providing for the data warehouse for to providing a faster analytics. So the data modernization is the another solution for the which is offering by the Google Cloud. And another strategy, like VMware engine. So benefit from the increased scale and agility, like they have a leverage to value the existing VMware investment. So they can, instead of using servers from the on premises, which is more again it's a maintenance and license costing is more when compared to cloud. So instead of maintaining VMs and all from the on-premises, it's better to migrate it to the cloud. So they can get the better scalability by migrating it to the cloud, and they can utilize the again scalability in terms of running their applications. So that's a very good solution is offering by the cloud. Google Cloud. And the next one is migrate for compute engine. So migrate one application and on premises or thousands of applications, so across the multiple data centers. So they can transform, or they can migrate from one or maybe thousands of applications, but the compute engine will perform the migration strategy. Migration of the data is very safe and scale. And the migrate for Anthos. So the next feature, the next solution is offering by the migrate for Anthos. So which is an application modernized. So example again, once if you migrate your data, or my Anthos is providing a feature or solution for modernize your existing workloads into a secure and Kubernetes service. So Anthos migrate for the Anthos will provide you to better optimize your applications once if you migrate it to the cloud. and and the next is like storage transfer services. uh, it's like securely migrate petabyte scale unstructured data from on premises and other cloud providers to Google Cloud. So storage transfer, I can say this, even more data which you have in the your on premises or from the other cloud providers, which may be the structured or unstructured data. That's very this is a service where you can transfer all your on premises data to cloud. So these are the various solutions which are offered by the Google Cloud in terms of cloud migration. So as per the business requirement, so they can opt for what is the solution which is best suits for their business need. And I'm just giving an here a few and two reference architecture in terms of Google Cloud Compute Engine. So what are the services here especially offering, what are the components of a migrate to compute engine installation. So even in terms of on premises or in terms of like from other cloud provide services provider side as well. So where if you see the here the architecture, so we'll talk about which is in the VMs which are present in the on premises, which will have at the back end migrate for cloud compute engine backend. And when it comes to the other service providers, they do have compute engines, migrate for compute engine importer and importer from the other cloud service providers. So they can, the compute engine, they can import from all these either from the local on premises or from the cloud other service cloud providers. They can fetch or they can use these cloud compute engine services, and then they can the migrate for compute engine manager will manage these various on premises VMs or uh, cloud VM. So they can manage and migrate it to the cloud extension, that's edge node A and edge node B. So they can migrate the VMs here. This is the simple reference architecture for compute engine. And next, this is will talks about the VMware engine reference architecture. This is again the utilization or a migration of the VMs, which talks about uh, you know uh, extend the VMware environment to Google Cloud, while benefiting the other cloud services. They can migrate or they can scale the my VMs at larger scalability. And the next, uh, I'm going to talk about what are the best practices for enterprise organizations. So this again, which is similar to the next five phases of the cloud migration. But yes, again, uh, under which aspect, like from the right from the business scope or business problem to billing and management, if you want to decide it to migrate it to the cloud. So what are the at what stage and what levels the process while doing the migration process. So what are the things needs to be keep in mind, and what are the things needs to be uh, keep follow up. So or else like you can need to have a reference while doing the migration. So these are the different steps you need to monitor in terms of how the migration is happening. So like as a step, the initial assessment. So in the assessment step itself, like I'll just compare here like organizational setup. So in the organizational setup, so you need to define the resource hierarchy. So resource hierarchy means again at the organization level, what project you are going to handle, or the team project, and a team under the team which project you are handling. So there may be a multiple projects. So example, like in the cloud provider, so they do have a different organization structure to run a particular project or to provide an access. So in order to doing that, you need to know the organizational structure. So you need to hierarchy of the resources and create an organization node. You need to create an organization node for the migrations, especially migration, and specify your project structure. You need to specify your project structure, which structure you are going to uh, you know implement in future the migration strategy. So and automate the project creation. So you do have different projects to migrate. So you need to set up the organization setup in these four aspects, and then you need to be very precise about what exactly the scope of the uh, migrations. And the next is about identity and access management. This is a very again uh, at this phase, like at this practice, I can say this. Manage your Google identity. So who this will be provided by, like example, the organization email. I can say the organization, the Gmail ID. So account based management, which is providing by the again cloud, Google Cloud. So the organization email will be you need to input that as a access for that, so in order to get the access. So and migrate unmanaged accounts. Example, like you have migrated from that project to another project, so you can even change your um, identities or accesses from unmanaged accounts as well, and control the access to resources. So you can have a control over the resources, to whom you can provide an access, up to what level, the authorization and all. So and even also, like the like I said in the first step, so organizational setup. So you can distinguish, or you can assign the hierarchy, who is responsible for what, who can give an authorizations for up to which access level, like as a normal application. So if you want to get an access, so what are the access approvers, the levels will be there, the similar way. So what control, like who can give the access for this particular, or who can provide an access for that particular project. And also it will talks about the access level and identity and access level management. So that will be defined at in the first step, the organizational step. So and they can define the organization policy as well for intern, who has to get access at what level, and the like whom should we have to give an access at what level, so which service accounts we can give the access and all. So the next is about the networking and security. So when we want to access from on premises to the cloud, so what is the networking and security, which VPNs we need to or which access points, which through which endpoint we need to access to the that particular public cloud. So you use, like virtual private clouds to define your network and manage traffic with firewall rules. So again, these are the different firewall rules and traffics which are, like which are offering by the cloud providers as well, like maybe the firewalls at the organization level, as well as from the organization firewall, so they can access the clouds as well. And they limit the external access and centralized network control, and connect to your enterprise network and secure your applications and data. So these are at the security point of view, so to accessing the data. And the next is about logging, monitoring, and operations. So logging, monitoring, and operation. So once if you provide an access, you already got the data has been you know uh, the centralized logging and monitoring. So in order to set up the audit trail and export your logs, by logging, monitoring, and operations, we need to take care about while moving it to the cloud as well. So how what is the monitoring we are doing at what level. So if example, like one particular data ETL happening. So example, like one particular flow of the transactions, if they want to store one particular downstream file in the cloud storage. So whether thus that flow has been successfully placed or not. So how you will monitor, and all those things can be cross checked at the transaction, the flow of a transaction uh, has been happened according to the process or not, according to the business flow or not. So that we can need to monitor, and operations and logging in terms of all these things. DevOps, continuous integration, explore site reliability engineering. So all these monitoring, audit trail, export your logs, so will be done from the logging and monitoring and operations point of view. And the next is about the cloud architecture. So once if you set up all these things in terms of cloud infrastructure, so you need to plan for your migration, so and favor managed services and design and high availability, and plan your disaster recovery strategy. and resources you do have. So these are the, at the cloud architecture level, once if you set up your identity and access management, security, all your logging and monitoring and operations point of view, once if you plan your migration, then you need to plan for the, at the cloud architecture point of view, you need to plan your migration and manage the services and design high availability. And you need to have a, even a disaster recovery strategy, because we are not aware of that, if the server or VMs from the VMs, or maybe the service downtime, at the service downtime, we may not know based on the cloud strategy we have selected. So we need to be thorough with, like, disaster recovery strategy at the cloud architecture level. And the last one is about billing and management. So here in this is the last phase, I can say, this in terms of, best practice for the migration. So you need to know how the resources are charged, whether they are charged in the in per minute basis, or, per or a query running basis, or that amount of data which has been ran. So you need to know how the resources are charged, and what are the different set of billing controls, and analyze and export your bills, and plan your capacity requirements. So you need to plan your capacity requirements, like example. So how much data I need to, how much size or capacity of the data I need to migrate, and implement, you can implement, you need to implement the cost controls, and purchase a set support package, and get the help from experts, or build centers of excellence. So you need to be thorough with, again, billing and strategy management strategies, in order to cap up your business needs. And uh, this is with the, like, what are the different strategies we have, and industry best practices for the enterprise organizations for the migration strategy. Now I'm going to talk about the, the recent cloud journey what we have implemented in one of the leading MNC bank. So I'm just giving here some few facts about how much data we have migrated, and what are the different techniques we have used, and how we have implemented. I'm just going to talk about very few facts about that. So here we have the on premises, which is, like, the data which is lying in the Teradata, and the data which is we have used is data stays. And so almost like, the capacity or the in scope data we have finalized is about 110 TB of data. That's a compressed data we have planned to migrate from on premises, that is from Teradata to Google Cloud, which is on BigQuery. The service we have taken is BigQuery on cloud. So and we have used a Juniper application for this data migration as well. So, and the same, almost like, 40 TB of data, 40 TB of data from Hadoop system. So we have the same, we have migrated to the um, Google Cloud. And the same Juniper we have used, the application Juniper we have used for the data migration as well. And the data files which we have, uh, 10 TB on SanDisk and 9 TB on NFS. So we have used the Google Cloud storage, that we have opted for the services Google Cloud storage, and we have migrated by using the Juniper as well. And almost like, we have selected 3,500 jobs, from the data stage jobs. We have migrated to the uh, Google Cloud. So we have data stage servers on the cloud. And almost 5,000 sequences, or 5,000 different jobs we have uh, uh, migrated to the cloud, which again initiated by the control agent. Here in the scope, like, we have not uh, like, we are not migrated completely. The control m server will continue to be on premises. So control m server itself, like, will control the sequences to be run in the Google Cloud. So for this, like, we have initiated the control m agent. And almost like, I can say, there are 150 databases we have migrated from on premises to Google Cloud, and around 4,000 warehouse tables we have migrated, that we have created a data sets for that. So we will call it data sets in the Google Cloud. And almost like, There are again 4,000, approximately 4,000 plus views we have created in Google Cloud BigQuery. So, and the strategy we have implemented is like, based on the discussions at the higher level. So they have implemented lift and shift with enhancements. I can say that that's a uh, with lift and shift and few applications we have selected for modernization. So initially we have assessed what are the different scope of the migration. So initially we have thought to migrate around 200 plus applications to migrate from on-premises Teradata to Google Cloud. So among that, again, we have used all the strategies, so which are to be retained or which are to be retired, and like means which are demised or which are to be retained due to like maybe a licensing, a recent purchase of license and all, and few applications have to be migrate. So basis that strategy, we have prepared our strategy to migrate which application at the first. Again, the simple applications we have initiated migrated first, and then later the complex applications we have decided to migrate later point of time. So here the total amount of data we have already set up, and we have set up all the VMs which are required for the to run the data in the on cloud. So we have set up the VMs as well, and we have created all the data sets, means the databases in the Google Cloud as well. And we have reconfigure all the data. Again, the client partner from the Google Cloud, which is a compiler works, which is an alliance partner of Google Cloud, which they have provided seamless feature for migrating the data, or reconfigure the data from on-premises applications data as is code to the Google Cloud compatible. So the application itself, like um, majority of the data, or I can say the syntactical level. So it is because initially we have chosen for few applications is lift and shift only. So the data has to be reconfigured according to the Google Cloud BigQuery compatible. So the compiler works have made our work easy for almost like 90%. It has converted all the data which is in the Teradata syntactical format to Google Cloud BQ compatible. So it has made that, and the same environment we have set up in the Google Cloud BigQuery. And the we do have a setup called pre-prod and prod environment. We have tested the data which is and the by taking the same almost live data which is in pre-prod environment, and we have tested, and we have made him transfer the data to you know Google in the prod, I can say. So these are the facts and figures of the migration of the data which we have implemented. So with this, like I'm concluding my presentation. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please put in chat box so that I can answer accordingly.
Thank you. We have one question. What was the total duration of cloud journey from your case? For your case,
What was, pardon me, sorry, what was the
total duration of cloud journey for your case?
see the total duration? Almost like we have implemented 200 plus applications, so it took almost like 3 years for the entire migration. Because we did the POC in terms of all the application level. So we do have a SaaS or in scope which to be migrate, and other applications which are in Teradata, or which are like there are other dependencies as well. So initially we did the POC and all, and post that, once a POC has been done, so we have reconfigured all the, like I said, 3,500 approximately jobs, and more than 5,000 control M jobs. So we have reconfigured all the jobs, and we have migrated. So for us it took almost like 3.5 years to migrate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all. We will see each other later. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.